Welcome back to horrible murders, death, and tragedy. I mean, our daily life as a teacher, where we, it's a silly slice of life comedy. Yukari comes into the living room dressed in her school uniform. Nisan, are you coming to the academy today? Yeah, I've got a lecture scheduled. I'm supposed to be an instructor, so I've got to hold a lecture. Oh, that's gonna be weird. Why is she blushing about that? Oh yeah, she's like, then shall we go together? Sure. It wouldn't be a bad idea to go to school with Yukari and observe the other students. I'll go get changed, so just a minute. Sure, I'll do that. Yukari and I walked together to Oba Girls Academy with plenty of time to get there. This area was pretty much demolished during the war, but it looks like it's really making a comeback. That's where the airplane factory was, right? That's right. Do you remember me taking you to the baseball field there? It wasn't that long ago, so I still remember. I match Yukari's leisurely pace. The academy's gate has just come into view when it happens. Oh god, I remember this girl. She's the typical annoying character, or the, I guess you could say the comic relief. Morning, Yukari! A cheerful voice from behind us, completely at odds with the surroundings, shatters the tranquility of the morning. Good morning, Suzuriko. Oh, you Koreans walking together with an old man? Who are you calling old? Well, I suppose I have to admit that I'm approaching that age. Once you hit 30, that's the age. He's my older brother. He introduced himself at the morning assembly yesterday, remember? Nisan, this is Suzuriko. You write her name with the character Tojiro. No wonder. I thought I recognized you. You're a teacher. Is she really a student at Oba Girls Academy? She gives off a completely different impression than the other students. What are you staring at me for? Please don't say you've got the hots for me. Jesus Christ. We really are going to get arrested. It's like, have you been talking to young girls, mister? What the heck is with this girl? Hey, Yukari, does Oba Girls Academy really admit girls like this? Ugh, he ignored me. And hey, what's with that tone? Nisan, despite her appearance, Suzuriko is actually quite well learned. What? Yukari, not you too. Aren't we best friends? She grabs Yukari's arm and waves it around forcefully. I guess all the stuff Yukari said about their friendship is true. Suzuriko has published several novels in the past. Oh yeah, I forgot that one aspect of her character. Apparently she's an aspiring writer. Seriously? That does actually kind of play into the story a bit. If you'd like to call me sensei, go right ahead. Suzuriko swells up with pride. That's a violation of school rules. I may just be a part-timer, but as an instructor, I cannot let this slide. Whoa, hold on there. Suzuriko latches onto my arm, protesting loudly. I just write as a part of my activities in the literary club. I totally don't think of it as a side job to make money or anything, okay? Sure you don't. I think whatever she said, it's pretty much going to be exactly the opposite. Alright, I get it. Calm down. I won't tell anybody. She's certainly an odd one. So what kind of stories do you write, Tojiko? Oh, all sorts of things. My main focus is mystery novels. Hey, who the heck is Tojiko? Well, Suzuriko is hard to say. But it looks like you just called me Tojiko. Well, he literally did just call you that. Oh, so you were born in Hakata, Tojiko? My grandma came from Fukuoka. Wait, what's that got to do with anything? You two will get scolded if you cause a commotion over here. Yukari chides, her calm expression never slipping. Nisan, you're an adult, so please behave yourself. Well, how often do you find someone this easy to tease? Yeah, you got told off by your little sister. Tojiko, please don't provoke Nisan so much. Okay. Hey, don't start calling me Tojiko, Yukari. Our banter continues. However, as we approach the gate, the rowdy Tojiko suddenly falls silent. Even in his inner monologues, his inner thoughts, he's calling her Tojiko. As I expected, she becomes mellower inside the academy. It's almost like it puts a spell on people when they enter. It's like you will lose all aspects of your personality and become a mindless automaton. The other students are also quiet. Good morning, Tokisaka-sensei. Orihime is greeting a single-file line of students. Morning, Tsukishima-san. Is this one of your student council duties? Yes, the morning welcome is part of a healthy lifestyle, so this is especially important. Good morning, Orihime-sama. Tojiko greets her in a completely unexpected tone of voice. Good morning, Yasumiya-san. What's the matter, Tojiko? I'm not sure I heard that correct. God! She stomps on my foot with all her strength. Is something wrong, Sensei? Nothing at all, Orihime-sama. While trampling on my foot, Tojiko forces her way in front of Orihime. Really? However, Yasumiya-san, I'm afraid I can't condone fraternizing with a man like our teacher here more than is necessary. Oh shit. What are you trying to imply? Yes, I understand. Yukari tugs on my sleeve, pulling me some distance away from the other two students. Ouch, she almost broke my foot. You brought that on yourself. Suzuriko normally passes as a serious student, but that's not how she really is, though. Nevertheless, there was something else off about the whole act. It was almost like something out of a girl's novel. The friend you mentioned last night who likes to break the rules wouldn't happen to be Tojiko. It's a secret, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna take that as a yes. Alright, I get it. Given that I'm only going to be here a short while, I'd rather not cause unnecessary trouble. At least of all over something completely unrelated to the case. Yasumiya Tojiko, huh? That'll be a hard name to forget. And she's also a hard character to forget. She's one of the characters I really remember from this. Now, today's the day I'm scheduled to lecture the students. By the looks of things, it doesn't matter what I teach, so long as it falls within the realm of world history. So it's like none of the students are going to complain about something like that. It's just, just teach whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. They won't complain. Well, I guess they probably won't, considering they're pretty robotic. I guess they don't really, you know, question a lot of things. I guess I'll talk about the 100 Years' War or something. There's a bunch of famous historical characters like Jeanne d'Arc. A bell rings to announce the end of class. Guess I'll get going. I'm lecturing the second year Fuji class. Their room is on the second floor, so I decided to take my time getting there. The case I'm investigating involves first year students, so I'm sure none of the second year students in Yukari's class have anything to do with it. I enter the classroom as the warning bell rings. The interior of the classroom is so dreary that you never guess it was break time. A few students glance over at me, but only for a moment. Well, there are a few exceptions. Her class, huh? Yukari's sitting next to her. My name is Tokisaka, and as of yesterday, I'm serving as a temporary instructor here. Nice to meet you all. After introducing myself at the podium, nobody reacts. Yeah, as expected. At the very least, the name Tokisaka should have caused a few glances in Yukari's direction. These white uniformed students seem a little out of it. In today's special lecture, I'd like to talk to you about the war that occurred between England and France, the so-called 100 Years' War. I start talking, but as I had expected, nobody reacts in the slightest. It looks like Yukari's taking notes on the content of my lecture. Tojiko's also writing something, but it clearly has nothing to do with what I'm discussing. Her pencil's moving way too fast. Well, Yukari did tell me she writes novels. That might be what she's working on right now. Jeanne d'Arc appeared during the latter stages of the war. A nobleman named Gauze de Reyes fought together with her, but Yasumiya-san... Tojiko's head snaps up. It is said that the main character in a fairy tale is modeled after him. Which? A fairy tale? Is it how children played slaughtering together? What the hell is that? What kind of children's story is that? What in the world is that? Hey, it's one of Grimm's tales. Well, it was deemed too savage, so it got removed quickly. Yeah, just judging by the name, it seems a little bit too hard, a little bit too savage. Why do you only know stuff like that? At any rate, let it be known that the answer is Bluebeard. Yeah, Bluebeard. If any of you have seen Fade Zero, you might know that that was his I guess, his nickname or his fantasy name or whatever. Huh? Wasn't Bluebeard that Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa? That's Redbeard. Why the heck does she know something like that? However, after looking over all the students, few of them seem to have noticed our exchange. Only Yukari wears a look of shock. As I pull myself together and continue the lecture, a student sitting next to the window catches my eye. Of course it's her. It's Kuchiki Toko. So she's in the same class as Yukari, is she? Though she isn't taking any notes, she's staring at me in intense concentration. I wonder if that's because of the lesson you're teaching or just because of you. Well, this complicates things. In the end, I lecture right up until the bell without a single reaction from the other students. I wonder if they were even listening. Phew. Once my lecture is finished, I step out into the hall and let out a slow breath. How do I put it? I'm mentally drained. It's not stress over their silence. It's like talking into a vacuum. I didn't think that the other lack of response would be this painful. Worse, this might hinder my investigation. I can already see that getting information out of these girls will be an exercise in frustration. Nice work today, Tokisaka-sensei. A youngish teacher hails me. Ah, thanks. After bowing to him, I realize that I don't know his name. I'm Kusaka Tatsuhiko, the homeroom teacher for second year, Fuji class. I see, thanks for looking after my little sister all this time. Ah, so you're Tokisaka-san's older brother. It's nice to meet you. Why don't we move somewhere else, rather than standing around here while we talk? Without waiting for a reply, Kusaka sets off. I guess I had better follow him. I'd like to get a teacher's perspectives on the goings-on here. We sit on the sofa used for reception, located to the side of the faculty room. The students caught you off guard, didn't they? I'll say. They're pretty quiet. Thankfully, there aren't any teachers actively paying attention to us at the moment. In spite of that, I'm keeping my voice low. This is not something I can talk about out loud. I understand how you feel. I was like that too, at the beginning. How should I put it? Their responses are kind of sparse, right? Isn't that a good thing if you want to move the lecture along? Not even close. You have no idea if they're listening to you, or if they even understand what you're saying. That's kind of what I was thinking. Kusaka sighs deeply. It looks like he's had a hard time with it too. The school's a pretty rough place to be a part-time instructor. Is it really that bad? It's an all-girls school, so a lot of stuff happens. Kusaka smiles wearily. Well, I'm only here for a short while. I'll deal with it somehow. I see. Well, hang in there. Oh, I do have one other piece of advice. What would that be? At this academy, it's forbidden to interact with the students outside of class, so watch yourself. Yeah, don't talk too much with Toko. The board and PTA are watching us like hawks, just because we're young teachers. Thanks for the heads up. Good grief, I guess it's understandable that the academy would shelter its girls, but I really don't think that such a policy of isolation can result in anything good. I have lunch with Kusaka and leave the faculty room. I steered clear of any sensitive topics during our conversation, so I didn't get any useful information. One thing is certain, there's something up with the atmosphere here. The prevailing attitude here seems to prevent the students from talking about much of anything, in my case least of all. Even though 2 of their classmates have gone missing. If they're concerned enough to search for them, you'd think they'd be making a bigger deal out of it. It'd be nice if I could drop this undercover investigator business. Well, it puts food on my table, so I've got no right to complain. A crowd is forming in the corner of the hallway. That's unusual. At the center of the throng is Tsukishima Orihime. I can't begin to guess what they're saying, but every last one of the girls is giving her starry-eyed looks. They don't just love her, they worship her. Isn't Orihime-sama amazing? I suddenly realize that Tojiko has come up beside me. Oh, it's you, Tojiko. Don't call me Tojiko! She kicks me in the shin. Now look here. Why are you watching Orihime-sama? Well, I guess you could ask everybody else that same question. Why are they watching her? I was just thinking she's pretty popular. That's right. It's not just the underclassmen either. Even her own classmates love her. That's an interesting tone of voice to take. Something wrong, Sensei? No. Here I thought you were smitten with her too, but I must have been imagining things. Given how she acted this morning, I can't see it any other way. However, right now she seems serious enough. She sounded cold, emotionless. I can see why you're a detective. Out of consideration, she keeps her voice low to avoid blowing my cover in front of everyone. Looks like you've got your reasons. That's a secret for now. Forcing a grin, Tojiko deftly weaves her way into the circle of people surrounding Orihime. Excuse me. During the break, I pay a visit to the infirmary. I'd hoped to ask Nurse Akazaki some questions, but it looks like nobody's around. Oops, someone's sleeping over there. I have to wonder who that might be. There's a curtain drawn around the bed. Well, maybe if we just take a peek, it'll be okay. Anybody who sleeps in a nurse's office is likely not feeling well, so I shouldn't disturb them by hanging around. But as I make for the door, I hear a familiar voice. Tokisaka-sensei? Toko? I thought it was you, Tokisaka-sensei. The curtains are open from within. Stretched out on the bed is Toko, a smile on her face. Did I wake you? I wasn't sleeping to begin with. I'm kind of bored, so could you keep me company for a little while? Toko sits up. So, what's wrong? I'm not exactly the picture of good health, but I'd hardly call myself an invalid. I just wasn't feeling so great today, that's all. Get some more rest. She was in the process of standing up, but stops upon hearing my advice. You're so nice. Or is it just that you'd rather rape me here on the bed? What the fuck? What is with her talking about being raped? Like, these girls are dangerous. They're going to get us in trouble. Don't even joke about that. I sit down on a nearby chair and face her. I get the feeling that her face has grown thinner. Her skin was pale to begin with, but it gives an undeniable impression that she's not of sound health. Sensei, your lecture was pretty interesting. Surprised by Toko's words, I take a long, hard look at her face. The lectures here just cram stuff down your throat and make you memorize things by rote for exams. I imagine the others ignored yours because it wasn't related material, but I enjoyed it. So you really were listening? Naturally, I was on the edge of my seat, holding my breath, waiting to see what kind of blunders this inexperienced detective would make. So that's why she was interested. You need a better hobby. So that's why she was watching me. I'm kidding. She laughs at my response. Oh, if it isn't Tokisaka-sensei. Nene has returned. Pardon the intrusion. Sure, I don't mind, but... Nene looks over in Toko's direction. Nurse Sakazaki, I feel fine now, so I'll be taking off. Toko stands up, adjusts her uniform, and passes by me. Are you feeling better? Of course. Well, enjoy your time here, Tokisaka-sensei. Putting emphasis on my title, Toko leaves the infirmary. What's with her? Kuchiki-san? I don't really get it myself, but she comes here to rest from time to time. I see. She puts on a show of being strong, but I guess she really does have some health issues. Girls her age are especially sensitive to menstrual irregularities. That sounds plausible enough. Even though I live with Yukari, who's the same age, I don't really understand that sort of thing. Nor do you really want to. By the way, why are you here, Sensei? Right. There's something I wanted to ask you. My job takes precedence here. It's about the 2 girls who went missing. Are there any students I can question regarding them? Regarding Nishizono-san and Imamura-san, I recall that there's a first-year student, Sato Ayamu, who was good friends with them. Sato-san, huh? I'll have to pay her a visit later. Also, Nishizono-san was part of the art club, so it'd probably be smart to ask your sister. Ah, I see. So Yukari's involved in this too. Thank you very much. Not at all. This is the least I can do. Nene smiles as she sees me to the door. Well, I guess we know where we need to visit next. I give another lecture in the afternoon, but the audience's response is exactly the same. They silently take in my words without a word of extraneous chatter. It's a third-year class, so perhaps they just tune out useless material. I'm uneasy about what lies ahead, not as a teacher, but as a detective. For now, I guess I'll try to make some headway in my investigation. Starting with Sato Ayamu, that friend of Nishizono and Imamura. If I'm going to look for her, now's as good a time as any. The first-year classrooms are on the first floor, right? Just as I'm about to go down the stairs, a voice calls out behind me. Sensei? Yes? I turn around and tilt my head, thinking. I get the feeling that I've met her somewhere. I'm Mizuhara Toko, a second year from Fuji class. Oh, yes, you're Kuchiki-san's friend. Now I remember. This girl's in the same class. She keeps a low profile, but I don't get the same impression from her as from the other students. Is something wrong? Sensei. Mizuhara lifts her face, meeting my gaze. Her intense eyes are slightly moist. A fragile voice escapes her lips. Please stay away from Toko. Huh? Pardon me. She turns on her heel and leaves before I can even ask a question. What on earth was all that about? Of course, my question meets only silence in the empty hall. Well, it's more like Toko wants to talk to us, not that we want to talk to her, and we just kind of keep meeting up with her anyway because she happens to be where we are, so it's not like we're actively like going out of our way to talk to her or anything. But of course, this girl's probably completely irrational and does not realize that, or does not really care to realize that, or see things from our perspective because she's completely obsessed with Toko, so... my final lecture of the day has come to an end. I've got to get going with the real investigative work. First off, since I didn't go earlier, I'd better ask that first-year student Sato some questions. There's just one problem. I have no idea what she looks like. I guess I could ask some students around there, but it'll draw unwelcome attention. A part-time instructor searching for a single student will only arouse suspicion. What to do? Oh boy. Ambush her at the entrance, ask Yukari, or pretend I'm returning something she dropped. Okay, so I guess we should pretend we're returning something she dropped. This is more subterfuge than I'd like, but I'll try pretending to return something she's lost. This way, I won't need to know her face to find her. I descend the stairs and go to the first-year classroom. As I peek inside, I see a bunch of students that have stayed behind. Excuse me, is there a Sato Ayamu-san here? The students looked in my direction, but none of them make a move to respond. Yep, no matter where you go, it's the same. That's just really fucking creepy. They're just like staring at you, they're not even saying anything to you. It looks like Sato Ayamu isn't here. Even with this bland crowd, if she were here, she'd probably step forward. I think Sato-san is at the kendo hall. Here we go. I have no idea who said that. It could have been anyone. The kendo hall? For club activities? Nobody bothers to give me another answer. Nothing I can do about that. I return to the hallway. If she's in the middle of club activities, I'll just have to look for her again once they're over. Now then, I've tracked down Sato Ayamu's location. I don't know what she looks like, but there's probably no need to go over to the kendo hall and confirm. I need to keep a low profile, especially at this school. There would be no end to the rumors if people knew a part-time instructor was meeting privately with a first-year student. But then again, is all this really necessary? We could just meet in the open, or... I can't live under these conditions. So my brother has lost his self-control and succumbed to his base urges in the face of the nubile schoolgirl hordes, has he? What the fuck? What? Why does everybody think we're a fucking creep or a pervert? Like, this is just really uncomfortable. This is just making our job that much harder. And not in that way. Why do you think that, Yukari? Unbeknownst to me, Yukari entered the prep room and heard me muttering to myself. Well, you look like you're love-struck, that's why. You're mistaken. Well, what's up? Could you come to the art room? I need to discuss something. We can't talk about it here? Nope, everybody's over there. I follow Yukari out of the room. Where's the art room? It's separate from the club buildings and the fine arts classroom. When the school was being reformed after the war, it was separated from the main school building due to overcrowding. Yukari walks in front, taking the lead. Can you at least tell me what this is about? Do try to be patient. It's not as though we plan to force unreasonable demands on you. Wait, we? What's going on here? Why is there a we? I hope not. Oh god. There are two people waiting for us in the art room. Kuchiki Toko and Mizuhara Toko. You're slow, Tokisaka-sensei. Sensei? The two Tokos are seated next to one another. Oh great, now that girl's gonna hate us even more. Why are you talking to my Toko? So, what did you three want with me? Next week on Wednesday the 14th, we plan to go to the art museum as part of our training for club activities. Wednesday? That's a weekday. It is, but we have the day off. And that's where you come in, Tokisaka-sensei. Normally, our faculty advisor would take us, but it seems that day's inconvenient for him. So I have to accompany you guys. That's right, Nissan. You will probably have free time that day, so it works out perfectly. I'm at a loss for words. And if I say it's too much trouble and I don't want to? I'm afraid that's unacceptable. Your smile's pretty scary, Yukari. Oh, it'll be fine. Tokisaka-sensei, you'll have the day off too, right? It's not exactly a day off. Damn it. I can't bring myself to say no to her request. Well, it's not like Sensei has to be there, Mizuhara mutters under her breath. Toko, you know that's not an option. But... My older brother may be unreliable, but he'll be useful as a guardian. I'd appreciate a little respect here. Mizuhara still looks disgruntled. It looks like she hates me. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. By the way, what's going on at the art museum? They're opening up a one-man exhibition for an artist named Mamiya Shinzo. Mamiya Shinzo? He's a highly regarded artist, world famous in fact. Oh really, I've never heard of him. It's not just limited to paintings, they're showing off a lot of his works, including sculptures. It seems that since he's a Catholic, there will be numerous religious works. That's why we're going. It'll be educational. Well, we're counting on you, Sensei. Toko stands up and grabs her bag and sketchbook. Leaving already? Nah, I want to get some more work done on my painting. See ya. Toko leaves the art room. Wait, Toko. Mizuhara also gets up and leaves. Was it just my imagination, or did she glare at me at the last second? Are you leaving too, Nisa? No, I've still got something I need to do. The kendo club should be done soon. Really? Well then, see you later. I exit the art room and head for the main building. I'm just in time. There are several students on their way inside, all carrying kendo gear. Is there a Sato Ayamu-san here? The students turn around upon hearing my voice. From within the group, a single girl steps forward. That's me. What did you want? She looks up at my face with undisguised suspicion. She seems kind of quiet, but she's got a piercing gaze, unlike the other students. Her guard is up, a product of her kendo training maybe. I have something I'd like to discuss with you, is that okay? Discuss? Ayamu cocks her head at me uncertainly. Yeah, we can't really talk about it out here, so I'd like to move somewhere else, is that fine with you? We can't do it here? Not. She's not going to give me a break here. Where's the best place to hold this conversation? I think it would be, obviously, would be the faculty room, but... Okay, apparently it's the history prep room. How about talking in the history prep room that I use? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I was mistaking the faculty room with the history prep room. I don't know why. Is the faculty room no good? Ayamu doesn't like my suggestion. We'll still be in public in the faculty room, but I guess it won't be a problem if we talk quietly in the corner reception area. It makes sense that you'd want to avoid being alone with a guy who suddenly started talking to her. Alright then, let's go to the faculty room. Okay. I guess that constitutes agreement. I start moving toward our destination. Yeah, I guess even if you suggest history prep room, you end up going to the faculty room anyway, so... We've come to the faculty room. Oh, Tokusaka-sensei, is something wrong? Saiki is on his way out when we arrive. I'm going to ask her some questions regarding the missing students. There aren't any other faculty members around. I dropped the pretense with Saiki so that they both realize what we're here to discuss. I see. In that case, I think it would be best for the two of you to talk inside, in the reception area. Saiki points to the sofa furthest from the door. Thanks for your concern. Urging Ayamu along, we head for the reception area. Sensei, who are you really? Right now I'm Tokisaka Reiji, part-time instructor. I give her the easy reply, knowing full well she won't accept it. But you mentioned the missing students. So is this about Yui? Are you with the police? Well, you're close. I'm a detective. I'm a detective. A detective? It's definitely not a job title that'll put people at ease, but Ayamu does look a little less tense now that she knows my occupation. I'd like to ask you some questions about Nishizono-san and Imamura-san. I understand. Ayamu nods. Let's start with Nishizono-san. What kind of person was she? Yui was really cheerful. She was the type of person who could connect with everybody, no matter who they were. I believe she had a lot of friends. A lot of friends. Okay, what about Imamura-san? It seems like Imamura-san was popular too. Did you notice anything at all before they both went missing? Ayamu looks downward, as if she's trying to remember something. Anything is fine, even if it seems trivial. Now that I think of it, Yui seemed kind of down around New Year's. Ayamu's voice comes out in a near whisper. Around New Year's. That's just before she disappeared. That means something happened around January. Yui never acted like she would just take off and disappear. I can't shake the feeling that she got involved in something. Ayamu's tone of voice is calm. However, I can see some emotions there that she can't suppress completely. I decide not to comment on that. I couldn't bring myself to say that she's probably right, that in all likelihood, our friend really had gotten involved in something. Do you know anything regarding Imamura-san? Nothing in particular about Imamura-san. When Yui disappeared, she was really worried, but... I guess Imamura didn't show any warning signs pronounced enough for Ayamu to notice. Thanks. My apologies for forcing you to talk about it. That's fine. Tokisaka-sensei. What is it? Please, find Yui. Find Imamura-san, please. Of course. That's what I've come here to do. The chances of finding either girl alive are pretty slim, but I can hardly say that to her. Once Ayamu is gone, I move out into the hallway. A panorama of the schoolyard expands beyond the window. Hey, that's Kuchiki Toko. She's set up an easel at the corner of the schoolyard. It looks like she's working on her painting. Get closer or don't go. Well, according to the guide, we probably shouldn't go. She's hard at work right now, so it'd be rude to get in her way. I watch her from the window, but to search for her own vague existence. I'm no philosopher, but I can tell this is going to be pretty tough. Yeah, I mean, how do you even do something like that? By the time I'm done speaking with Sato Ayamu, the evening sky is already darkening. Well, what shall I do now? Well, where to? I guess we should go to our favorite cafe. I've returned to Kichijoji, to Moonworld. Welcome. I'm not sure why, but Hatsune seems rather listless today. Could I get some coffee? Of course. Please, right this way. After I'm shown to a seat at the counter, Kyoko looks at me with a complicated expression. What happened? I'm feeling a bit down, you know. Kyoko picks up a coffee cup's handle with one finger, just the handle. Haha, did it fall and break? Well, I told her that I didn't mind. If I'm not mistaken, the broken handle she's holding was from a cup she received from her deceased husband. Oh, that's why. It's not the finest quality, but it's made by a company in England. It was my fault for leaving it near the edge of the counter, but Hatsune's taking it pretty hard. Well, I'm sure she would if she knew it was a memento. I take a surreptitious glance in her direction. She's hanging her head in shame while she works. I ought to do something before the other customers see that face. Amamiya-san, could you come over here for a sec? What is it? After motioning her over, I take my freshly poured coffee and move to a seat at one of the tables. So, how do I put this? Console her, get her to replace it? I don't think we should get her to replace it. Okay, well maybe we should get her to replace it. How does this sound? I'll look her square in the eyes. There's no use being depressed like this. It won't repair what's been broken. Yes, I know that. That's why this time, you're going to give a present to Kyoko, Amamiya-san. A present? A gift. You'll work your very hardest and give it to Kyoko as a way of paying her back. I think that'll make her feel a bit better. Okay, well that kind of makes sense. Just get her to make up for it. But Kyoko really treasured that cup, right? It's not like the memories were broken along with the cup. If she receives a new one from you, Amamiya-san, I'm sure she'll treasure it just as much. I gently pat her on the head as she continues looking down. Come on, you're a fantastic employee. That's not true. This cup will hold all the memories of you trying your very best. Is it too much to think of it that way? No, I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you very much, Tokisaka-san. After Hatsune bows to me, a slight blush on her face, she walks back to Kyoko at the counter. It looks like somehow things will be okay. Yeah, that's not what's going to happen in this game. That's not how things in this game are going to turn out. It's like, I think somehow things will be okay. No, they won't. I think that as I watch her from behind. After a while, once Hatsune has bowed and left the counter, I take my nearly empty cup and approach Kyoko. How'd it go? Well, how could I turn her down after hearing an offer like that? Kyoko tops off my coffee. Well, I suppose it's better than her being depressed. Thanks, Tokisaka-kun. Although I do have to wonder about all those cheesy lines she said. Maybe we told her to say that. Just pretend you didn't hear them. Okay, man, there's a lot of things we have to do today. Takashiro Hospital. Oh no. The last place I want to go, and I'm pretty sure the last place Reiji wants to go to. I've come to Takeda no Baba. I admit I've been somewhat reluctant to come over here, but I can't leave this place out of my investigation, yeah. I would be too. Mustering my courage, I set foot inside Takashiro Hospital. Oh, it's you, Tokisaka-san. What's the matter? I came here to ask you about the status of the case. Have you discovered anything since last time? Well, I did learn a couple of things. Well, alright. We'll save the fun for later. Oh boy, no. With that unsettling remark, Natsume-san picks up her documents. We'll start off with what you really wanted to know. I found the identity of the first dismembered corpse, the one without a torso. Seriously? She's right. That's exactly what I wanted to know the most. It was badly decomposed and deteriorating, so it wasn't easy. But I figured it out from the headshots of the missing people. The corpse is Imamura Haruka-san. She's one of the girls in the picture I got from you yesterday. Yeah, that's right. I'd been expecting this, but that doesn't make it any less painful to be confronted with the reality of it. I'm pretty certain I'm right, based on the shape of her jaw. I see. Well, what about the other case? The case Oizumi entrusted to me, the burned corpse at Tama Cemetery. No matter how you look at it, they must be related. Right, I think the key to this one is most likely the black egg. The one inserted into her abdomen? Yep, I doubt he went to all that trouble for no particular reason. Is there something unique about the egg? Well, it's just a regular chicken egg, painted black on the outside, but it was broken inside her, right? However, I didn't find any of the egg's contents. So the egg was already broken when it was put inside. It certainly looks that way. I wonder what that means. What possible significance could a broken shell have? Well, that's all I've got. Now on to the really important stuff. Yeah, important, quote-unquote. What would that be? That frightening smile of hers is plain as day, but I can't help asking. The information fee? Natsume-san lays her hands on my shoulders and licks her lips. Oh no, I don't like where this is going. You've really been holding back, haven't you? Let's see, shall we? Natsume-san's hand strokes my nether regions. Oh, okay, I think we're about to skip. This. Okay, well, the two of them just played together and had a really happy, fun time. Take that as you will. Anyways, yeah, I never get used to having to fucking skip these scenes. Like I said, they feel totally unnecessary because it's just like, you could easily have cut these out. Like, yeah, you can, even in like the true ending route, quote unquote, there are times where you just cannot avoid, you know, actually like having sex with some of these girls. As soon as I get back to my office for the evening, I call up Oizumi and tell him to come over. Wherever he is, it's apparently near Shinjuku, and they were able to get in touch via police radio. Looks like he's as busy as I am. The door opens and Oizumi stumbles in, looking like a bear rousing itself from hibernation. Okay, Reggie, what was it you wanted to tell me? How many things would I want to discuss with you? Did you figure something out? The identity of the first case, the corpse discovered in Inokashira Park, it appears to be a perfect match with one of the missing persons I was investigating. Imamura Haruka? Yeah. So you've heard this as well. Of course I've heard it. It's my case. Oizumi lights his cigarette. Evidently, the case I'm investigating is no ordinary missing persons case. Looks like she was murdered. Think it was a kidnapping? That's a possibility. Sounds like I've got to dig up some dirt on the Imamura family. There's a chance it could have been done for ransom. There was a case last year where a famous person's kid got abducted, right? It's possible that they didn't want the police to intervene or were coerced into keeping quiet. But if they were after a ransom, why bother to mutilate the body? They might have wanted to conceal the corpse's identity. We have no way to know for sure, even now. But if that were the case, it doesn't make sense. They left the head behind, right? Why not the torso? If they didn't want the victim identified, the head would be the first part they'd hide. Well, a torso is pretty big. It was probably too much of a hassle to carry it all the way to the park. But that still doesn't explain why the head was dumped. Oizumi grunts, thinking it over. Either way, that means we have a murderer on our hands for the Imamura Haruka case. If that's the case, then what about Nishizono Yui? There's another missing girl I'm searching for, Nishizono Yui. She's also a student at Oba Girls Academy. With this new information, it's increasingly likely that she's been dragged into some sort of trouble. I can't speak with certainty until we found a body, but... You don't know of anybody else going missing, right? Not yet. I don't want the body count to increase, but my gut's telling me that this isn't going to end here. No, definitely not. I'm finally home. Welcome back, Nissan. You aren't sleeping, Yukari? It's nearly midnight. No, I was just finishing up washing some things. It doesn't sound like she's making it up. Is there something wrong with that? No, sorry to dump this on you all the time. It looks like it's about time I went to your office in Shinjuku and tidied up, huh? Yukari laughs. Hey, I'll have you know that place is still clean. I can't trust your definition of clean, Nissan. Give me a break. You can still see the floor, can't you? It's fine. Well, apparently that's his definition of clean. Will you have some tea? Sure. Some hot Japanese tea is nice once in a while. Then I'll go make some. So in the meantime, go get changed, please. I return to my room, take off my shirt, and change clothes. Yukari brings a teacup to my room while I'm in the middle of tying my sash. Here you go. Ah, thanks, Yukari. I accept the cup, but rather than leave, Yukari stands there and stares at me. What's wrong? You look depressed. Her voice becomes subdued. Really? I guess it shows on my face. One of the missing students won't be returning safe and sound. Was there some bad news? I can't hide anything from you, can I? I let it slip out with a strained smile. The identity of the corpse discovered at Inokashira Park has been confirmed. It's Imamura Haruka. I see. Nishizono Yui is still missing. I'll find her, somehow. I know. We're all counting on you. Hey, Yukari, has there been anything that's been bothering you at school lately? Hoping to shift the discussion to a lighter note, I changed the subject. Anything that's been bothering me? Let's see. Yukari taps a finger on her chin, thinking it over. Recently, Nurse Sakazaki told us to be careful, because there's been an increase in the number of absences due to sickness and injury. What's causing that? Well, now that, I don't know. I see. Thanks, Yukari. Not at all. That's the least I can do. One more thing. Could you not tell anyone what we were just talking about? Yes, of course. Well, Nissan, good night. Okay, good night. Yukari leaves the room. Guess I'd better hit the hay as well. Well, at least we made quite a bit of progress. Well, I'll be going on ahead. Yukari stands up, grabbing her bag. Okay, stay safe. Nissan, make sure you aren't late, okay? No, don't worry. See you later. It looks like Yukari's got day duty today. I'm an instructor and she has to leave before me. I can't imagine how busy she must be. I think things over, sipping leisurely at my cup of coffee. It's Saturday. Tomorrow's a day off, so today I want to get as much done as I can at the academy. I'm waiting for the results of Oizumi's investigation into Imamura Haruka. I'll try organizing what I know about Koizumi Kei, the other girl who was killed. She's not a student from Open Girls Academy. However, she's the same age as Imamura Haruka and Nishizono Yui. That might be significant in some way. The key may turn out to be that black eggshell. Why was it placed in her abdomen? Since Imamura Haruka's torso is missing, there's no way to investigate whether the egg is a connection. However, they're both young girls, and their bodies were both mutilated. Isn't that a connection in itself? Guess I'll try asking about this black egg. There's got to be some specific interest behind this, since they took the trouble to cut out the uterus and close her back up. Ugh, God. Just thinking about that kind of is pretty fucking disturbing. Cutting out these women's uteruses, and also them like just cutting off their limbs while they're still conscious. Jesus. There's nothing more to be gained by thinking about it, so I decide to head toward the academy. There are quite a few girls walking along wearing Oba's uniform. I recognize a handful of faces, but none so much as glance at me. Ugh. Hey, Sensei. Morning. She's an exception. Morning, Kyoshiki-san. Didn't I tell you to just call me Toko? Now she's pouting. There's no way I can call you that here. Ooh, warming up to me, are you? I feel like it's the other way around, honestly. Toko presses up against my arm. I half expect her to throw her arms around me next. These girls are really, like, especially Toko, she's really trying to go out of her way to get us arrested or something. Look, you. I try to shake her off, but she's firmly attached. If we get seen here, we're gonna get yelled at, right? It hardly needs mentioning that we've already been seen by all the students on their way to school. Yeah. Now the rumors are gonna start. I don't know whether I should be relieved or disturbed that they just passed by us without any response. Good morning. Yeah, morning. I exchange greetings with Sato Ayamu as she moves by. You see, everyone's looking. There's nothing to worry about. Are you sure about that, though? I'm pretty sure, like, what's her name, Orihime, is gonna fucking have something to say. I'll be the judge of that, thanks. Or definitely the other Toko. The other Toko's probably gonna kill us now. Seriously, what's with this girl? Oh, that's right, Tokisaka-sensei. Do you have some time to spare on your way home today? Toko finally detaches herself from me. On my way home? Since today's Saturday, that'd be around noon. Do I have time? I'm busy, no problem, depends on the situation. Oh, we're really gonna have to say we're busy? God damn it. I've got some leads to follow up. I'm pretty busy, so I think it might be difficult. I give it to her straight. You're really energetic about your job, detective. Well, we kinda have to be. I mean, we are a detective after all. We have many things to investigate. True, I just want to keep everyone safe. I see. Well then, I guess I won't ask you to go out of your way for me. Toko sounds disappointed. Is it something important? Would I bother you with anything less? There's no sign of mischief on her face. I see. I'll try to make time for it somehow. Her expression is dead serious. Whatever it is, she must really want to talk about it. Thanks, Tokisaka-sensei. I'll be waiting in your room after school then. Her sketchbook held beneath one arm, Toko gives me a wave and leaves. Well, it seems like even though we kind of tried to blow her off, she's like, well, you're going to do it for me anyway. Well, that's all for today's class. As I wrap up my lecture, the bell signals the end of class. The students are as quiet as ever. Even so, they seem attentive enough during class, and occasionally one of them will even ask a question. It looks like there's a rule in place forbidding them to speak with male teachers outside of class. I can't make any sense of it, but it seems strange that such rules are taken for granted at the academy. Those rules are taken for granted, but others are strictly adhered to. Nonetheless, none of the students come to talk to me, even after class is ended. This is why the students I pass in the hallways are always so quiet. As I proceed down the corridor, I catch sight of a familiar figure. Great timing. There's something I wanted to ask her. Sato-san, do you have a minute? What is it? The tall girl turns around, giving me an inquiring look. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Right now? Ayamu glances around at our surroundings. I think they'll get mad at you if we do it here, Sensei. I'm a teacher, aren't I? Even so, you're asking me questions right now as a detective and not as a teacher, right? Well, you got me there. She's quick to catch on. That makes my job easier. I understand. What do you want to know? Let's see. Have you remembered anything about Nishizono-san aside from what I asked you yesterday? Yui. Anything's fine. Let's see. I know. Did she have a boyfriend? Any relationships like that? As far as I know, Yui never had any relationships with boys. A decisive response. I see. It would be difficult to investigate those relationships anyway. And another thing, Sato-san. Does a black egg mean anything to you? It's a shot in the dark, but I figure it's worth a try. A black egg. An Easter egg, perhaps? Easter egg. Oh, right. They use eggs decorated in various ways to represent the resurrection of Christ. Since black is an ominous color, that's something I hadn't thought of. This is a Catholic school, so every spring we celebrate Easter. Interesting. Easter egg, huh? That's something I'll keep in mind. Although, now that you mention it, the black egg does sound familiar. I'm sorry, I can't seem to remember at the moment. No, there's no need to push yourself. Thanks, Sato-san. Tokisaka-sensei, I don't approve of you carrying on secret conversations in a place like this. I already know who that could be. From behind me comes Orihime's voice. Tsukishima-san? We are not to speak to men outside of class without good reason. Sensei, you of all people should understand this, correct? If looks could kill, then the one she's giving me. No, this is just... I'm done for. I can't blow my cover here. Try to cover it up somehow or tell the truth. Well, I think the best thing we should try to do is try to cover it up somehow. It seems she didn't understand something from class, so I was just clearing it up for her while it was fresh in our minds. Oh, is that all? That's not it. Sensei was asking me about Yui, about Nishizono-san. Why in the hell would you say that? Oh shit, I forgot to tell her to keep quiet about it. What is the meaning of this? Orihime's voice is tense. I can hardly blame her. A part-time instructor comes in and starts snooping around. Anybody would be suspicious. After a quick check that her entourage is nowhere in sight, I steel myself for what's coming. Tsukishima-san, the truth is, I'm a detective investigating those disappearances. If you're going to lie to me, at least have the decency to invent a credible one. She doesn't trust you. Well, that's... I know it's kind of sudden, but the truth is, Vice Principal Saiki asked me to do it. Is he being serious? Orihime asks Ayamu. I think he's most likely telling the truth. The Vice Principal said something along those lines. I see. You're Sato-san, right? I think you've said enough. You can move along now. Yes, I understand. Oh, just one thing. Could I ask you to keep quiet about this? Sure. Sorry about that, Tokisaka-sensei. See you. Yeah, she just blurted all that out. Great. Ayamu turns around and leaves. I don't really trust you all that much, but for now I'll simply live with that. Orihime's brows knit together. I'm sorry that I kept it from you, but I'll never be able to learn anything of use if I don't keep a low profile. It's that simple, isn't it? However, you're a teacher at the moment, so could you please refrain from behavior that violates the school regulations? I understand. I'll try not to stand out too much. If I were completely prohibited from talking to students, I wouldn't be able to accomplish anything. You won't stand out, so you say. Orihime seems to sag in place, and a sigh escapes her lips. Sensei, what do you think of this academy? I think the student body has taken their philosophy to heart. It makes them come off as a bit stiff, though. I see. Sensei, don't a lot of the regulations seem unreasonable? I get the impression that this isn't really a question, rather it's simply a wish to hear someone agree with her. Even so, since the regulations are fixed, don't we all need to abide by them? Yes, of course, but humans are creatures that operate on reason and emotion. When forced into an atmosphere of oppression, doesn't your will to rebel against it gradually get stronger? Is she referring to the students bound by those strict regulations, or is she hinting at something else? Look at me, I just finished telling off Sato-san, yet here I am having an idle chat with you, Sensei. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Honestly, a conversation like this should be perfectly natural. I don't know whether it's because they're trying to make these girls lead sheltered lives, but this academy's regulations are quite abnormal. Our conversation has lasted too long. Sensei, I apologize for detaining you here. Good day. Orihime scurries off, almost as though she were running away from me. I've returned to my prep room. I'm not scheduled to hold any more lectures today, so I have the afternoon to concentrate fully on my investigation. So, what should I do now? It's a rest period in between classes right now, so I guess I should go and ask some questions. Yo-hoo, Sensei! The door whips open and Tojiko comes inside. What's up, Tojiko? Don't call me Tojiko! Why is her text, like, bigger than the other text in the text boxes? I pointedly ignore her complaints. Did you want something with me? Oh, right. You know, I went and asked the first-year students some questions, and apparently there's a rumor spreading amongst them that makes me worried. A rumor? Well, not a rumor really, more like a superstition. And so Tojiko's story begins. So this is how it goes. If you carry a black egg around with you and it doesn't break, your wishes are granted, but if it does, the Black Madonna will come and kill you. A black egg? Is that the same thing that was stuffed into Koizumi Kei's abdomen? Did I do something? Hey Tojiko, is that only popular around this school? I don't know. I haven't asked any other girls from other schools. First off, I don't even know how widespread it is. Did Nishizona Yui and Imomura Haruka believe in it? Maybe, maybe not. They're just a small fraction of the first years after all. I see. A black egg, like the one retrieved from Koizumi Kei's abdomen. There might be some connection there to Imomura Haruka, if she were carrying around a black egg. What do you think, Sensei? Was I helpful? Yeah, you gave me some useful info, Tojiko. I told you not to call me Tojiko. Well, I guess we do need some levity in this game, considering how fucking dark it is. Classes have already started. I go out into the hallway and ponder things for a moment. A schoolyard superstition about a black egg. I need to confirm this with somebody. Tojiko said it was popular among the first-year students, but Sato Ayamu didn't seem to know about it. I don't really know any other first-year students. I guess I'll go to the infirmary and try asking Nurasakizaki. Excuse me. Tokisaka-sensei, is something wrong? I just wanted to ask you something. Oh, is it about your work? That's correct. Do you know of a rumor that's circulating among the first-year students regarding a black egg? No. What's that all about? It appears that if you carry this egg around with you, your wishes will be granted. That's a pretty common magic charm. However, if you break the egg, the Black Madonna will appear and kill you, or so the story goes. Wow, people like talking about that sort of thing? It sounds like it's only a small fraction of the students. So she doesn't know anything either. It would help me out if she could discuss it with the students. Is that related to the case in some way? Not directly, at least not yet. That's right. This black egg myth has nothing to do with the disappearances of Nishizona Yui and Imomura Haruka. It is related to Koizumi Kei, but she's not a student at the school. However, Nishizona Yui and Imomura Haruka are both first-year students. If I find some common link between them and the egg, then everything I've been investigating is connected. I'll try dropping a few discreet questions about the rumor. Alright, thanks, and sorry for the trouble. That's the bell. It looks like all the classes for today have ended. As much as I'd love to go home right now, I did make a promise with Toko. I've got no choice. I guess I'll put up with it. I'll have a smoke while I wait for her to get here. I could really go for some coffee right now. Toko enters without knocking. Sorry to make you wait, Detective. You're alone? I expected either Yukari or Mizuhara to be with her. I want to talk about myself, so it wouldn't do to have other people keeping me company, would it? Talk about yourself? What the heck is she going to say? Have you made any progress on my request? Toko starts by firing off a question. Request. Right, you wanted me to find your true self. Don't tell me that you've forgotten. I haven't, but I haven't been working on it either. You're probably busy with your real work, so I'll understand if you haven't made any progress on my investigation. Toko's voice is tinged with disappointment. That's why I planned on giving you some more information today, Detective. Information, huh? No matter what she tells me, my other issues are still going to take priority. Hey, do the words black egg ring a bell to you? Black egg? Aren't the onsen eggs from Hakone black? It looks like Toko doesn't know about it either. Oh, that's right. It's said that if you eat onsen eggs from Hakone, your lifespan will increase by 7 years. Could you go buy me 5 or 6 of them? Listen, you. Our conversation has derailed. Fine, I'll listen to what you have to say. After all, she is my client. Okay, tomorrow's a day off, right? I'd like you to come to my house. What's this all about? If you're going to find the real me, then having you get to know me is the best way, right? I think this will give you a clearer impression than simply talking to you. My first impulse is to laugh, but the sound dies in my throat when I see her expression. She's absolutely serious. Alright, tomorrow then. Okay. Well, I'll be waiting for you in front of Kichijoji Station around noon. Toko stops at the door. Oh, but if you're busy, you don't have to force yourself to come. I won't mind, okay? Don't worry, it's fine. Thanks, Tokisaka-sensei. Are you going to draw again today as well? Yeah, I suppose I will. I finally know what I want to draw, but I don't really have much time. Are you busy? Yeah, see, I've got to go buy some new pencils. I see. I'm looking forward to seeing your painting when it's done. Okay, see you tomorrow then. Toko bows slightly, then leaves. It's evening. Now, what should I do? Where to go? Where to go? Suppose we should go to... go back to Takashiro Hospital. I've arrived at Natsume-san's place. I don't know if she'll have any new information, but I might as well stop by and see. I don't have anything for you, she says this as I enter, by way of greeting. Okay. Well, I'll be going then. Hold it, Tokisaka-san. No, not again. We don't need to go through this again. I tried to run away, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Strange as it may seem, I'm pretty busy, so... It certainly doesn't look that way. Why don't you at least stay for some treats? Not the kind of treats that you're going to give me. Well, alright. God damn it, Reiji. Giving up, I sit down in a chair. Natsume-san cheerfully brings over a small box. Nana-chan was here earlier. She said she had a gift for me and brought that over. Is that takoyaki? I wouldn't call them delicious, but they're plenty edible. Saying this, Natsume-san cheerfully jabs one with a scalpel. What are you doing? Here you go. Open wide. Where's that scalpel been? You've been cutting open bodies with the fucking scalpel and you're using it to pick up food. Ew. Don't point that scalpel at me, please. That's damn dangerous, but more importantly... Is that scalpel? It's the one I always use for autopsies. Oh, God. You can't be serious. It's brand new, so don't worry about it. Yeah, but have you cut a body with it recently? Jesus. Natsume-san bites the takoyaki off the blade with practiced ease. I get the feeling she uses it like this on a daily basis. God, that's fucking nasty, dude. Well, I'd love to believe otherwise. What's the matter? You're not going to eat any, Tokisaka-san? By all means, you can have them. Really? Thanks. Natsume-san pops the takoyaki into her mouth one by one. Come to think of it, why did you become a coroner? Unexpectedly, the question slips out of my mouth. Ooh, you want to know? There's a sparkle in her eyes that wasn't there before. Did I just stir up the hornet's nest? I'm scared, but I want to hear about it. Well, according to the guide, that's what we should do, even though I don't really want to. Please tell me about it. I'll muster my resolve. Well, the reason I started this job is pretty simple. It seemed interesting. Well, that's it? After all that tension, now I feel like an idiot. There's other reasons too. This is the only job where you can legally hack up other people's bodies, you know? When you say it with that smile on your face, it's pretty damn scary. But nobody gets brought in here but sinewy old users, you know? Still, it's worth it since recently I got to cut up some young ladies. That makes you sound like a fucking serial killer. It's getting harder and harder to view her as anything but a criminal, yeah. This is Tokyo, isn't it? And yet of all the medical examiners in the city, they brought the victims here. Well, her skills are undeniable. Ah, that's right. I've got something I need to talk to you about, Tokisaka-san. Natsume-san adjusts her posture, then begins. What is it? It looks like it's a serious topic. It's about the body I cut up here. It ended up being looked over one more time at the forensic hospital. Why is that? And you just told us you didn't have anything new. There's got to be a reason that they went out of their way to examine it again. It looks like they had a problem with the results of my examination. Apparently, they're redoing it with a fingerprint test. Oh, on which corpse? The first, the dismembered one. Well, I'd figured there was no point, considering its decomposed state. Which means there's a chance that it isn't Imamura Haruka. I'm standing by my original report, though. Still, it's their decision that becomes official. I see. If the corpse isn't Imamura Haruka, could it be Nishizono Yui? We're at the point where it could be either, for all we know. Saying that, Natsume-san lets out a sigh. Well, at least we got something from that. Where to now? Well, according to the guide, I guess it doesn't really matter where we go next. So I have no idea. Where should we go? Inokashira Park. Well, there's the art museum. There's the station. Oba Girls Academy. We were just there. We don't need to go there. I guess let's check out the park. See what's there. I've come to Inokashira Park. I have no particular reason to be here. The place where Imamura Haruka's corpse was discovered has already been cleaned up. Any clues will be long gone. I pass through the crime scene and keep going. There's a girl walking up ahead, spying me. She comes over and gives an elegant greeting. Oh, it's her. Good day, Tokisaka-sensei. Oh, hello there, Tsukishima-san. Going for a walk? Yes, sensei. Are you doing detective work? Technically, yes, but at the moment I'm just thinking some things over. Now that reminds me, I've heard a corpse was discovered here several days ago, yes? Yeah, that was... I shut my mouth just in time to avoid saying too much. The public doesn't yet know that the corpse belongs to her underclassman, Imamura Haruka. Telling her something like that will only make her nervous. Is something wrong? The victim was a girl around the same age as you, so you should be careful. That's true. Well, for the moment, my servant is close by. She shifts her gaze, following it. I see a well-built man wearing a black suit. That's right, if I'm not mistaken, she said something like that yesterday. Your family must do quite well for itself. That has nothing to do with this. Orihime's voice turns stiff. They call him my bodyguard, but in essence, he is a chaperone. He ensures that proper young ladies like me do not associate with undesirables. If that's the case, then aren't I in danger? I've made it clear to him that you're a teacher, so there's no need to worry. However, I'm sure he'll tattle on me to my father. Orihime's tone clearly conveys how little she thinks of this. Well, it's about time I got going, I think. I think it's best if I got out of here, for her sake. Oh, but I don't mind you staying. I couldn't possibly. I'm a teacher, after all. Reminding her of that fact, I take my leave. Well, I mean, at least something came out of that. I mean, it probably wasn't important, but... interesting, nonetheless. I don't think that would lead us to a dead end. I mean, you would think so. The sun is setting when I arrive at home. Oh, Nissan, welcome home. You're pretty late today. Yeah, I had a lot of stuff to take care of. Is dinner ready? No need to worry. I finished everything just in time. Yukari laughs, carrying steaming plates of food out from the kitchen. Oh, that's right. I got a call from Oizumi-san earlier. It looks like he'll be coming over here in a little while. He is? I wonder if he's discovered something. Perhaps it's about the identity of the dismembered corpse. Well, first things first, let's eat dinner. There's nothing else for me to do until he gets here. He gets here while I'm relaxing in my room after dinner. Nissan, Oizumi-san has arrived. Okay, show him to the living room. Alright. After Yukari heads for the entryway, I go into the living room. Hey, Reggie. Sorry for intruding. Learn anything new? Well, I really don't know if we've made a breakthrough or taken a step backward. Is it about the dismembered corpse's identity? What? Don't tell me you knew already. I heard from Natsume-san. Was it the fingerprints? Seems the flesh was too far gone to confirm anything. Her fingerprints don't match the ones taken from Imamura Haruka's possessions. But Natsume-san determined it was Imamura from the bone structure of her jaw. They'd know for certain if there were traces of dental work being done, but it seems that she never visited a dentist. Oizumi falls silent, a sour look on his face. So there's a chance it could be someone else. If you're asking whether I know any other possibilities, then Nishizono Yui could... We're also in the middle of investigating her case, but I'm sorry to say no evidence has turned up. I sent some officers to her current address, but it was abandoned. Wait a sec, what do you mean by that? Nishizono Yui's mother passed away last fall. It was a sudden heart attack. She basically worked herself to death. No foul play involved. It looks like Yui lived on her own for a while after that. Oizumi puts a cigarette into his mouth. So yeah, the officers found the inside of her house tidied up and clean. It's possible that she disappeared of her own accord. You didn't get any fingerprints? It's possible she didn't want to leave any traces behind. Nishizono Yui disappeared shortly after New Year's in January. If she meant to disappear, then she may not be involved in this string of murders. We'd better keep that one on the table. You're probably right. I light my cigarette and draw the smoke into my lungs. And somehow, in the end, it looks like I'm saddled with all these cases, doesn't it? Hey, I'm working on them too, you know. Besides, aren't you working on the dismemberment case because of your other request? Yeah, I know. We have a dismembered corpse which was once confirmed to be one of the people I'm focused on investigating. And we have a buried corpse with a black egg stuffed into her abdomen, one leg lit on fire. If there was some common ground between them, then I think our investigation would go a little more smoothly. Young girls, huh? As of now, that's a proven link. Even if we can't find their identities, we know they're young girls, female students. Hey Oizumi, have any other schoolgirls gone missing? Well, the anti-prostitution law is going into effect of help, but there are still a lot of missing persons. Well, they don't just go to the red line and blue line districts. There are the white line districts for the occupying forces as well. Naturally, those areas are a hotbed for crime. Hey, do you think these murders are going to continue? We policemen are working so that doesn't happen. Stealing his jaw, Oizumi roughly grinds out his cigarette. And then we cut to a murder scene, I'm guessing. I wake up. Oizumi and I ended up drinking for a while after our conversation last night. He didn't go home until it was nearly dawn. Thanks to that, it's already noon now. Good morning, Nissan. Yeah, morning. Yukari sounds out of it. It looks like you were up pretty late drinking. Or I guess disappointed in us. It's like, why were you doing that, Nissan? Were we noisy? No, not at all. Yukari's pretty crabby. So yes, we were noisy. Yukari leaves me some tea without another word. Sighing, I drink it. It doesn't feel like I'm hungover, at least. If I went out like that, there'd be no telling what that girl would say. Now, I check my watch and stand up. Oh, going to hole yourself up in the library? Nah, I'm heading out for a bit. I see. Have a safe trip. Alright. When I arrive at Kichijoji Station, the first thing I see is Toko's sullen face. You're late, Tokisaka-sensei. Now hold on a minute. How can you say I'm late when we've never set an exact time? Don't you know you can't keep a lady waiting? You have to show her how charming you are by being there in advance. Give me a break. I'm sleepy. Wow, were you that excited about your date with me? Nah, I was up all night drinking. Ugh, this doesn't improve her mood. It's faster if we go this way. We enter the park with Toko leading. The truth is that Mikata Station is closer, but this place has so much more life to it. Her foul mood forgotten, Toko steps lightly as she proceeds further into the park. Which reminds me, haven't there been some dangerous incidents in the area recently? Would you happen to know anything about those, Mr. Detective? Even if I did, would I have a reason to tell you? It's on a need-to-know basis, huh? Toko nods, giving an I knew it look. Right after New Year's, there was a shooting at a factory in this town, and more recently, someone was murdered here. You should be careful. I'm fine. After all, I got a detective protecting me, right? After leaving the park behind and walking along the Tamagawa Canal for a bit, we come to a nice house, built in a traditional Japanese style. This is the Kuchiki residence. It's pretty big. Well, that's because my grandfather's the head of a hospital. This building has a clinic built into it as well. My uncle's working there at the moment. A clinic, too? No wonder it's so huge. Well, come on in, detective. After being shown into the tatami room, I sit down on a cushion. Could you wait here for a bit? I'm going to make some tea. Toko leaves the room. Without standing up, I survey the surroundings. There's a beautiful garden outside the window. The trees are starting to take on some color. I suppose the new leaves will be opening soon. This building looks pretty old. The area was bombed during the war. They were fortunate not to get hit. But now, at least, it's a quiet place. It's getting dark out, isn't it? Toko's return. This is a nice place you got. I guess so. Toko pours black tea from a porcelain teapot. We've also got some sponge cake if you'd like. Sure, I might as well. Okay. I munch on a strip of cake while drinking my tea. There's an elegant air to the situation. Toko is chopping up her sponge cake with a toothpick. Don't play with your food. I'm going to eat it, you know. You sound like someone's father saying that. A father. I guess I'm not far off from that age group. I don't know anything about my father. Toko sighs as she mutters this. My mother's out right now, but the only people that live here are myself, my mother, and my uncle. I don't remember anything about my father. Viewed in profile, her expression is somehow lonely. Ah, right. It's not just my father. I don't remember a single thing from when I was little. Toko stares at me intently, as if this has only just occurred to her. So that's the true self you want me to look for. Yep, I guess so. Giving an ambiguous reply, she inclines her head. I get the feeling that it's not so simple. It's more... Look, how do I say this? Well, it's not so strange that you don't remember things from your childhood. There was a war, after all. I wonder if that's it. Toko looks me in the eye. Those almond-shaped eyes of hers are usually full of determination, but right away all I can think of is that they're trembling with anxiety. So, it's your turn to tell me something about yourself, Tokisaka-san. Nah, there's nothing I could say that would interest you. That's not true. I really want to know, like why you became a detective and stuff. I bet it's some reason that I've never even imagined. The unhappiness has vanished without a trace. Her eyes are back to their normal cat-like aspect, brimming with curiosity. Sorry to let you down, but it's not a terribly exciting reason. That's just the path I took after I became a policeman. I can't imagine you as a policeman, Tokisaka-san. Really? Yep, that's because it doesn't mess with your image when you're teaching. That's completely different. Toko giggles, smiling. Tell me, Tokisaka-san, are you glad that you became a detective? Do you mean, are there certain parts of my job that I enjoy? No, that's not it. I mean, have you ever thought, I'm glad to be a detective? Well, there's the good parts, and then there's the bad parts as well. At the moment, I think the bad aspects slightly outweigh the good. I see. Like what, for instance? Toko leans forward, bringing her face closer to mine. When people die, it affects me in too many ways. Thought he was about to say they're killed. When people die, they're also killed. That's probably because I only investigate brutal murder cases. When I was a cop, I was frustrated that the police couldn't do anything until after a murder had happened. But since I became a detective, it's been more of the same. If nothing ever happens, then you don't get any clients. I thought that detectives were these gallant figures that solve impossible cases, but that kind of stuff only happens in novels. Guys like Akechi Kogoro and Kendaichi Kosuke don't exist in real life. Even though detectives and police fight crime, they can't prevent it from happening. That's not even true. The police, only the police, can truly prevent crime. In other words, I'm always too late. Something happened while you were a policeman, didn't it? Yeah. I wonder why I feel like telling her about that. Oh no. Tragic backstory time. My lover was murdered, back when I was a cop. I see. Toko looked into my face. Is that why you're lonely, Tokisaka-san? Unable to look her in the eyes any longer, I turn away. Toko abruptly pushes away from the table. It looks like my mother's returned. Standing up, she exits the room. Alone in the living room, I take a deep breath, struggling to regain my composure. What the hell is she? It's like she peeked into the depths of my heart and saw something I hadn't even noticed. Lonely? Me? Don't be ridiculous. Toko's returned. Tokisaka-sensei, thanks for waiting. Next to her is a thin woman wearing a kimono. Thank you for always taking care of my daughter. I'm her mother, Chizuru. Hello, I'm Tokisaka from Oba Girls Academy. After we exchange greetings, silence follows. I get a different impression from her than from Toko. She seems frail. Please, enjoy your time here. No, I was just thinking that it was about time for me to leave. I see. Then please continue to look after Toko. Chizuru bows deeply. But what is this? Something feels slightly off. It's not that she acts cold toward her daughter. She wasn't particularly brusque with me either. I just can't shake the feeling that something's missing. I'm going to see Sensei off. Toko's voice brings me back to the present. You're welcome to visit us again, Sensei. Sure, I will if I have another opportunity. Toko leads me by the hand until we're out of the house. Hey. It's not like we're on bad terms. She guessed my question before I could ask it. It's just that I don't know how to connect with her. She has the same problem. To hear her tone, you'd think it was a minor annoyance, nothing more. It looks like you get along really well with your sister, Tokisaka-san. Well, Yukari's really reliable, and our parents aren't around. Well, I intend to be just as level-headed, you know. Saying that, she looks up at my face. What do you think of that, Tokisaka-san? What I think is that it's hard to call someone level-headed when they go wandering through the park in the middle of the night. Weren't you wandering around as well, Tokisaka-san? Toko pouts. I can take care of myself. You adults have it so much easier. She sounds more disgusted than envious. Toko-chan. A man's voice calls out to us. Uncle. Toko turns around, and I find myself doing likewise. He looks to be around the same age as me. I guess this must be her uncle. Nice to meet you, Tokisaka-sensei. Is it alright if I call you that? I'm her uncle, Kuchiki Fumiya. After politely introducing himself, he extends his left hand, which is covered by a glove. Sure, nice meeting you. I'd extended my right hand, but withdraw it and accept the hand he offered. Toko-chan always talks about you. She's always going on about how this really interesting teacher has come to the academy, and... What have you been saying about me? Toko very deliberately looks away as I scowl at her. Uncle, are you finished at the clinic? Yeah, but I've still got to sort these records, and there are some other things I need to take care of. He laughs weakly. The guy seems pretty worn out. Do you work in the clinic by yourself? Yeah, in the past my dad would do the checkups, but now he works in the large hospital they built in Nakano. I'm not really a fan of large hospitals. This place suits me better. Well, large organizations can feel stifling at times. Besides, I've got a patient here that I need to treat. Well, we can't be bothering you any longer, Uncle, so I'll go see Sensei off. Toko suddenly grabs my arm. I'm fine. I can get back by myself, you know. Oh, it's no trouble at all. See you later, Uncle. Please come again, Tokisaka-sensei. Leaving his voice at our backs, Toko drags me away from the Kuchiki house. Toko doesn't let go of my arm until we reach Inokashira Park. It's already dark. What's up with you all of a sudden? Hey, Tokisaka-san. Can you not tell anyone about what happened today? Toko doesn't try to meet my gaze. I'm a detective, aren't I? I've got no reason to tell people details about my clients. She probably has a lot eating away at her deep down. Not the least of which being her home life and her request to me. That's right. I know that. Toko nods to herself over and over, staring at the ground. I'll do my best to fulfill your request. I can't make any promises about when, though. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Detective. At last, Toko faces me and smiles. The moon's out. It's so thin. I guess she's noticed me looking upwards. Aren't you cold? I'm fine. As she says this, she snuggles up close to me. The moon is really kind to lonely people. Toko speaks lyrically, her breath showing in puffs of white. No matter how depressed you are, the moon bathes you in its soft brilliance. It's not too intense, nor too faint. It's a gentle, warm light that envelops you. Toko's fingertips brush my face. Are you lonely, Tokisaka-san? The same question from this afternoon. I still haven't given her a reply. Those who can't feel loneliness are unfortunate. Toko transfixes me with her eyes. So that's why you don't need to feel guilty about being lonely, Tokisaka-san. It's only human to be weak after all. My feelings of loneliness are a thing of the past. I gently grab Toko's hand and pull it away from my face. When Yukiko was killed, I went completely out of control. I quit the force because of it, and I caused a lot of trouble for the people around me. That was a pretty messed up time. I spent several days just roaming the streets, chasing Yukiko's killer. I couldn't succeed, no matter how hard I tried. Afterward, I became a soulless husk. I really put Oizumi and Takashiro through a lot, even Yukari and Kyoko as well. No matter how much I grieved, Yukiko would never come back to me. But I also realized that there were things I had to do. Since Yukiko wasn't coming back, there were things I had to take care of. You're strong, Tokisaka-san. Toko's looking downward. Her voice comes out weak and hoarse. I'm still not strong at all. The pain of losing a loved one will always stay with me, but I don't want to use that as an excuse to shut myself away in a shell. I see. That's strength. I've always been trapped inside a shell. But you know. I wonder if that's where the title comes from, because Kara no Shoujo, like, I think it, like, roughly translates to girl in the shell. She lifts her head up. Tokisaka-san, you and I are, yes, we are the same. Toko's voice is like the soft chiming of a bell. I know in my heart that I do not truly belong in this place, because I'm... Abruptly, she stops in mid-sentence. Because? No, it's nothing. Toko suddenly pulls away from me. Well then, Tokisaka-sensei, it's pretty late, so I've decided to go home. Hey, she's already turned her back. I call for her to stop. What is it? Be careful on your way home. When I see her eyes, they're the only words I can find. Okay. Don't run into any serial killers on your way back. I don't feel like going straight home after parting ways with Toko, so I wander the streets of Kichijoji. What do I have in common with Toko? Her words swirl inside my brain. I suppose she's lonely as well. She said she wasn't where she really belonged. Then is the real cause her rocky relationship with her mother? Phew. I don't really want to butt into family affairs, but... I've come all the way to Moonworld. Seems my legs took me in this direction without my realizing it. I may as well drop in for a bit. Oh, welcome. Kyoko's mopping the floor. It's not every day I see you cleaning. That's because it's Sunday. Hatsune-chan's going home. Are you closed already? Yeah, but I'll let it slide for you, Tokisaka-kun. Kyoko leans the mop against the wall by the entrance and goes behind the counter. What's wrong? What do you mean? It shows on your face. Your brow's wrinkled. Something on your mind? It's not that big of a deal. Just thinking a little bit about the past. Kyoko freezes upon hearing this, her work behind the counter momentarily forgotten. Is it about Yukiko? I nod in response to her timid query. It'll be 7 years soon enough, huh? Yeah. Time really flies by. You want some coffee, or would alcohol be better? Kyoko's just trying to break the silence. Some coffee, please. Alcohol is the last thing I want today. Hang on one sec. I'll brew up some of Kyoko's special blend for you. Kyoko starts the brewing process. Incidentally, I think the special blend Kyoko is talking about is just Moonworld's ordinary coffee blend. She's doing pretty well, even though she's been through a lot herself. Hey Kyoko. Kyoko continues to work during our conversation. Don't you ever feel lonely? She lost her husband right after getting married, and also lost a friend. You've got to hand it to her, soldiering on in spite of all that. What are you talking about, Tokisaka-kun? Kyoko raises her head, offering a strange smile. You and Oizumi-kun both visit frequently, and Hatsune-chan's here too. If I complain about being lonely when I have all that, the gods will strike me down for sure. I see. Kyoko, you're strong. So he just kind of like threw Toko's words back at her. Toko had said the same about me, but that's a far cry from the truth. Those who can't feel loneliness are unfortunate, huh? It's not like you to be so poetic, Tokisaka-kun. It's just something I picked up from a friend. I doubt even Kyoko can completely escape her loneliness, but she's doing what she can to overcome it. She's turned those unpleasant events of the past into simple memories. The best way to get rid of loneliness is to distract yourself by doing something. For me, it's running this cafe. Did becoming a detective do the same for me? Probably. Back home in my darkened room, I lay on my back and stare up at the ceiling. Ever since I came home, ever since I parted with Toko, her words have been echoing inside my head. Those who don't feel loneliness are unfortunate. Are they? Yukiko. When I close my eyes, long-buried memories of her rise to the surface. I remember her embarrassment as she told me she was pregnant. The girl in my memories will never change. I'm the only one who keeps getting older. I wonder if I'm lonely. Yukiko. She was murdered in cold blood. I didn't see her face after she died. Why? Why did something like that have to happen? Shit. If those who don't feel lonely are unfortunate, then what does it mean when I still feel lonely after 6 years have passed? I look up, and there, outside the window, I can see a thin crescent moon. It looks just like a crying eye, giving off a faint red glow.